Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me in another of my monologues. Here's a question for you. Are you addicted to things? Are you somebody who has an absolute need for something? You find yourself, I don't know, first thing in the morning doing something. In fact, there are, of course, millions, if not billions of people who do probably this thing that I've got in my mind. But first thing in the morning, are you addicted to something? People become addicted, don't they? They don't necessarily start addicted to something. They try something out and then they get addicted to it. They can't stop. But is that addiction or is that a habit? And sometimes it's very confusing, isn't it? I mean, for example, I clean my teeth every day. That's a habit that I have. I wouldn't say I was addicted to it. I don't find that I can't get through the day. I mean, occasionally you go, oh, I haven't cleaned my teeth yet. It's not that sort of, oh God, I've got to go and clean my teeth. I must get to it immediately, otherwise I can't get my fix of toothpaste. And incidentally, I avoid the fluoride toothpastes because I don't want any more of that substance in me. Some people are addicted to smoking, and some people are not. And we now know that scientists have admitted that actually tobacco and nicotine is not an addictive product, and in fact, or substance. In fact, tomatoes and the deadly nightshade vegetables are full of nicotine. And we don't see people getting up first thing in the morning, racing downstairs to raid the tomatoes. I must have some tomatoes, I must have some tomatoes. But we do see people doing that with cigarettes. You know, first thing in the morning, they're up there and they've got them out and they're smoking them. And of course, what's going on there is there's other substances in the cigarettes to make people want them. Not so much with tobacco, with pipe tobacco, fortunately. So in my mind, I'm, you know, people say, well, Richard, you must be addicted to your pipe. It's a very pleasurable experience, actually. And if you're interested, I have a pipe smoking channel now on, well, the link's in the description under the Vobe Show. It's not for everybody, it's just a chat about pipe smoking related things. Anyway, but people do get addicted to certain things. Well, alcohol is another one, isn't it? That's an interesting conundrum. You see, tobacco will have those warnings from the government trying to get you to stop. And in fact, the government have taken that one step further by basically banning anyone of a certain age now, as they grow up, ever to have the choice to smoke tobacco products, which I think is a huge invasion of somebody's rights to stop somebody. If they wish to, it's their body, they should be able to smoke whatever they damn well like, you know, as long as it's not going to cause damage to other people. And of course, tobacco can be a stimulant and actually make you more alert. Alcohol, on the other hand, can make you nod off, but you don't see massive problems. We know that there are alcoholics all over the place. There are people who are dependent on alcohol, but they don't get these massive warnings saying, do not consume this product. It's a very strange situation. You don't see it on bottles of bleach, you know, the same sort of warnings. Anyway, there are those that are addicted to alcohol, and there are those that find it a habit. Or there's another sort of class, isn't there? There's that class dependent. Some people find they may not be addicted to something, but they become dependent on it. Is that the same thing? Some people might argue that's exactly the same thing. You're dependent on it. You know, some people will have to have a glass of wine or something before they go to bed, and they feel they haven't really relaxed, or they haven't achieved whatever it is, or the day isn't complete, whatever it is. Is that the same thing, being dependent on something, as addicted to it? You know, if you're addicted to it, in my mind, you can't do without it. Now, with the pipe, I can put that down some days. I can go along and go, do you know, I haven't even thought about having a smoke of the pipe. I've been so busy doing this, that and the other, being distracted. Whereas I would pick it up and go, oh, there's a pipe. Oh yeah, well, I might have a smoke. That's very nice. Sit outside on the step in the sunshine. We've been blessed with a lot of sunshine, haven't we? But the big addiction at the moment that really affects everybody, the billions that I mentioned at the beginning, are those very clever, very cunning black mirror devices that pretty much everybody has, still carrying in their pocket, radiating, causing all sorts of problems health-wise to them. I mean, it's amazing, you know, people put them in there right next to their heart, some people, or right next to their kidneys and various things in their back pocket. When they radiate their bodies with these things. But the addiction part of it, people can't get through the day without switching it on and looking at it. And the biggest problem we have, of course, is the next generation. The next generation are, you know, never mind them smoking behind the bike sheds, never mind them having a few alcoholic drinks when mum and dad are away. The thing that's in plain sight is that you cannot get them off their phones. You cannot get them to put them down, so much so that, you know, if you wanted to find a way to control the population and influence them, then you could not think better. And it's been very cleverly manipulated to give them a mobile phone. And not only will you have them addicted to this, they are giving away all their data to whomever is connected to the other side of this black mirror device. And they're monitoring. They're taking photographs through the camera because there's a camera built in, as we know. They're listening to everything that's going on. And more importantly, a bit like 1984, they are commanding you to do things. Not with a face that says, you must do this, you must work harder, you must do this. But through the content that's being produced. And at the moment, some of us, like myself and others, are still allowed to a certain degree to be able to put content onto those phones, but we can see that we're being curtailed. As we saw with BitChute, you can't get it now in the UK unless you get a VPN. But how long will be allowed to have a VPN, one asks? Until eventually, unless we do something, the next generation will be so used to the phone, parking their cars with apps, paying their bills, buying things with the phone, that very soon they won't need to do things underhand. They won't need to subtly tell people what to do. They will just tell them, full on, go to work, work harder, give us your money, you are a drone, you are a slave. That seems to me to be where this is going with the phones. And unless we can, and mums and dads, you know, the people who are probably watching this, we have to be the ones that influence the younger ones. They're our children. They're not the government's children. They're not the state's children. They're not the globalists' children. They're our youngsters. They're our offspring. And we have to help them if we want to have a stable world for them in the future. Because I know boys and girls who are like this, and you take this away, there is nothing. They are blind to anything else. Nothing else is interesting. And this is such a sad, sad, terrible indictment of the world today, when we have such an amazing and such a beautiful world out there, and we are hiding it behind these black mirror devices which are surveilling us, which are absorbing our attention and energy, and really killing off any sort of entrepreneurial, open-minded, critical thinking that the next generation might have. And that is dreadful. What we do about it, I'd be interested in your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.